Man, we're finally going to get to see Tyson Pedro back in the UFC octagon, and I hate that it's against one of my main men, Ike Villanueva. Now, this fight's going to be a comeback fight for one and an extremely hot seat for another. You think about just how this one tugs at my personal heartstrings, and then the simple fact that both these guys can be such fan favorites, right? You know, Ike's coming out of Main Street Boxing, Bob Perez, one of Houston's main fighters once again. And I really think that this is an example of where he's very much taking on a top-level fighter that, you know, at the age of 30, man, Tyson Pedro is now looking in the best athletic shape he's ever been in. And this guy's already got 3-round wars, with Shogun Rua. You think about the wins that he already has over guys like Paul Craig. It's really interesting to see where this kid's fight career can go right now based on, he's just put everything together now. I think he's got a nice base for just his own wealth, everything that's coming together for him, the drinks with Tuivasa. It's just he's really putting life together, and I think making this comeback here is just happening at the right time for him. It looks like he's going to be hitting in his prime athletically. You think about the past fights too, right? The Shogun Rua fight, yeah, it's a TKO loss for him, but I think he tore his ACL in that fight, and you can even see him wince more than he actually feels like he's taking punches, especially like on his legs. You can see it buckle a bit, and that's where I take that as a big red flag in terms of the loss. I think Tyson's got a lot to go for him in this fight. You think about the boxing, even with that reach advantage, 6 inches, that's the one area where Ike has the opportunity to maybe do some big damage, right? He's a great boxer. He's got the background in it. Throws some good elbows. He's got to make this a very dirty fight and staying close. I think Tyson, if we think back to Tyson Pedro's style of fighting, I think he's going to throw good combos, but again, he's dangerous everywhere. He can take this fight to the ground if he needs to. He's got good submission wins against tough competition. So that's the one area where if I'm Ike Villanueva, it's trying to get into that boxing range and just being aware of any of that clinch work, use some Muay Thai opportunities to get the hell out of there, and just find ways to land big shots, right? And for Tyson, it's to stay meticulous, enjoy the moment, being back in the UFC octagon. I think we're all unbiasedly going to be excited for that to happen. Like I said, I hate that these two have to fight each other. I don't even want to talk about this fight that much more. Ike Villanueva, in terms of the body shot against Marcin, I think that was one where you see the durability is diminishing for him. The stand-up fight with Negrumiano was another tough bout for him where, just the tape's not looking so good, right, in the UFC for Ike, but this is an example where he can probably play big spoiler. I'm guessing a line of minus 290 for Tyson. I just think it's really difficult to put anything on Ike's side in terms of a favorite, but I think there's a path to victory. I think that Tyson just has a bit more, and the athletic side now coming into his prime, he just seems to be in a very good place for this to happen. So all of those things from a mental perspective, it really makes Tyson look good. So let's take a look at this line. I said minus 290, and well, minus 465 opener, now about minus 550 to minus 600 across the board. Weirdly enough, Ike hasn't moved much since then, plus 370 opener, and you can get him as high as plus 425 in some areas depending on where you see it, but huge discrepancy there. It seems like this is more of a puncher's chance fight for Ike, and Tyson Pedro's comeback fight to kind of just show off where he's at in his life, and he's got a lot of people behind him, and I think it's going to be an exciting night for everybody involved, so I can't wait.